Mercury retrograde starts on March 15th, and it's going to be doing some kind of funky stuff throughout eclipse season, so let's talk about it. It goes into retrograde right after the eclipse in Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So this forward-moving eclipse, this eclipse that's going to help to push us into the future, that's going to be ruled by Mercury, okay? It's happening, and then immediately we're flipping the script. Non-ironically, because Mercury has to do with communication. Okay, one of the things I love about retrogrades is that they bring things to the ground. They bind things up, and we also have a harvest time. So in this harvest period, with Mercury being retrograde, and it's in an eclipse season that's partially ruled by Mercury, we're gonna have a lot of information coming through. Answers you've been asking for, things you've been looking for that maybe now can be found because there's information around. If we occur to have problems, or there are problems that come through during Mercury retrograde, always a reconsideration period of like, what am I doing that isn't actually benefiting me? And why am I doing it? And how can I maybe clear it out? How can I reorder some things? How can I reestablish boundaries so that I don't have to deal with this anymore? Thanks, retrogrades and Mercury, that's true. So that could be a part of it. Mercury is also going to be retrograding in Aries, which is where our next eclipse is going to be on March 29th. And this is where things get a little bit interesting, okay? The eclipse that's on the 29th is closing out a big cycle of the lunar nodes being in Aries and Libra, while simultaneously offering us a new beginning. Shout out to Aries and the doneness of that North Node cycle. Cool. Something to keep in mind, again, about Mercury retrogrades is that they are a harvest time. So if you have been waiting on any information that is relevant to you and your practice, wisdoms, like really, really big wisdoms, okay, wisdoms that are like no way other than to get them except for from the spirits, wisdoms, profoundness, clarity, communication within your dream spaces possibly also. Any way that the spirits like to yap, okay, in your life, track it, because it's more than likely going to show up in our coming eclipse. That's going to be in Aries, and I'm so excited about it. Okay, hold on. Let's talk a little bit more. That eclipse is going to be ruled by a Mars that's in Cancer, which means the eclipse is going to be ruling itself, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. Circles, okay? Circles. So because the eclipse is ruling itself and Mercury retrograde is going to be in the sign where the eclipse is happening, that means Mercury retrograde is going to help us harvest any work, because again, we're closing a cycle with this new moon and starting a new one, because Aries lunar node, the North Node, is done. What you been doing with your Aries placements for the previous year and a half? What you been brewing? Where have your thoughts been? Aries rules the head. What's your mind been working on? Have you been elevating, speaking over yourself, the goodness of joy and love, okay? What have you been doing in that mental place and space? Well, Mercury is coming in with that big old sheath, like a Grim Reaper, okay? Is it called a sheath? What is it called? The scythe. Yeah, okay, the scythe. Mercury's coming through with that good old tool to cut down some words and make sure you get them. To cut down some words like fruit off a tree and make sure that they are delivered, hopefully with some joy and some glee. That's true. So whatever information you have really needed for your practice and your brew and your life that just for whatever reason you have been asking for and it hasn't come through yet, well, give your gratitude to the upcoming Mercury retrograde, because more than likely it's gonna, if it's not the reason that you're receiving it, I mean, you know, your practice is your practice, so probably you doing the work is the reason, so shout out to you. And Mercury retrograde is gonna be in support of the harvest of the words and communication that you're really in need of. I know for me that April 8th, 2024, new moon solar eclipse in Aries opened a completely new door of magic and thought, and like, don't have the words for it right now. For now. Okay, maybe later, but for now. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to being able to harvest some words around that, because I feel like communication has been nil. I feel like it has been real quiet about some stuff, when really I've been asking lots of questions, and that's kind of like one of the only things I've wanted to be doing for a while. Anyways, some stuff to look at in the coming days and months. Again, Mercury retrograde starts on March 15th. The eclipse of Aries is on the 29th. And then the 30th is when Mercury is going to retrograde into Pisces, and it's going to be conjunct with Neptune in Pisces. Crazy. Also, just as a side note, because I pulled the eclipse chart up just to double check some stuff, I think that right after the eclipse, the Aries eclipse, I might make another video about this. I think right after that eclipse, we're probably going to have a lot an indescribable amount of a lot, okay, looking at the chart right now, of information spiritually come through. It's like the floodgates open. Oh, you've been waiting for this message, and this one, 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 and this. It's like the just like messages. You know what it reminds me of? You know what what movie is it? Which Harry Potter is it where anyways, where he keeps all the letters, like the letters get hidden from him. Dobby. I tried to think of his name. Dobby the free elf, right? Okay, well, he's not technically free in that part of the movie yet, but he keeps all the letters. Oh my goodness. And then Harry's like, you're the one? You're the one who's been keeping these the whole time? It reminds me of that, where like just suddenly, here, your inbox is full. Here, you thought you were missing some stuff? Okay, well, there you go. There's the letters that we didn't mean to keep from you, but definitely meant to keep from you. They're arriving now. And the reason for that being is that Mercury retrograde, once it passes into Pisces, will be conjunct with Neptune pretty exactly at Venus retrograde is going to be at 28 degrees, so that's going to be like pretty close. North node's at 26 degrees, and then Saturn is at 24 degrees. It's going to be a party. That is crazy. I'll probably talk about that, like I said, in another video at another time to really break it down, but that's what we can expect from what Mercury retrograde is going to be doing and kind of how to prepare for what's going to happen on the eclipse. Clear out anything and handle anything that you might need to, but I have a feeling this Mercury retrograde is going to be different. I have a feeling it's going to be different. I feel like we're not going to have to deal with so many problems, hopefully. I hope that that's true for you. I think it's going to be more about, especially because it's eclipse season, harvesting the work of the efforts that we've been putting in with Mercury and words and communication for a while now. That's what I see about it. So hopefully for you, it ends up being true. If you need it to be, that's for real. That's true too. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up your brew. Keep doing what you need to do. And thank you for your brew, okay? Brewing is a lot of work to do. So thank you for what you do. That's true. And thank you for being here to support me. Also true. I like keep up my brew and do what I need to do. And I'll talk to you soon. Oh, shout out Mercury. You know what? I will talk to you soon.